The Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra is still a few months away, expected to launch early next year. But I know most of you don't want to wait for the official reveal. That's why today I've got something special. I managed to get my hands on an exact replica of the S26 Ultra, along with replicas of the S26 and the S26 Edge, so you can see exactly what Samsung is planning before anyone else. In this video, I'll be breaking down not just the design changes, but also the specifications that have been confirmed so far. Stick with me till the end because the S26 lineup is shaping up to be one of Samsung's most interesting upgrades in years. All right, let's jump straight into the design. Starting with the Ultra, I have the S24 Ultra and S25 Ultra right here to compare. Both of those use Samsung's well-known floating camera layout with only slight differences in the rings. But the S26 Ultra steps away from that familiar look. It now features a pill-shaped camera island similar to what we saw earlier on the S25 Edge, giving the Ultra a noticeably different identity. It's not a dramatic redesign, but it's definitely enough to avoid confusion for anyone using multiple Samsung models, especially filmmakers who rely on precise camera recognition. Along with that, Samsung has made the corners even more rounded compared to the S25 Ultra. This subtle change might actually influence the S Pen shape, making the top part more rounded as well. Because of this new curved corner design, inserting the S Pen might require a bit more attention. It'll likely only have one orientation that fits smoothly, so users may need to be slightly more careful. On top of that, the phone itself becomes slightly wider, a little taller, and even thinner than before, giving it a sleeker appearance overall. One more interesting thing is the SIM tray placement. Samsung seems to be shifting the SIM ejector hole next to a microphone port, and since both holes look almost identical, many users might accidentally poke the wrong one. It sounds funny, but it's going to happen, trust me. Moving to the display, the S26 Ultra is expected to have a major upgrade this year. Samsung will use the same N14 panel that their competitors and even the newest iPhones are using. Since this panel has already been tested, I can confidently say it's one of the finest smartphone displays yet. Extremely bright, fluid, and incredibly responsive. What I'm hoping for is Samsung finally switching to a 10-bit panel on the Ultra. Watching Dolby Vision content on this display would be unreal. And while Samsung supplies these screens to others, it looks like they've kept one special feature exclusively for their own devices: privacy display support. That feature basically hides your content from people sitting beside you, similar to a privacy screen protector, but built directly into the display. If Samsung implements this cleanly, it'll be one of the coolest quality of life upgrades this year. Expect third-gen anti-reflective glass and slimmer bezels as well, so the front of the phone will look even cleaner. Now, let's talk cameras. Anyone expecting a massive shift might be disappointed again. Samsung isn't going wild with hardware changes this time. The main 200-megapixel sensor will get a wider f.14 aperture instead of f.17, improving low-light performance. The 50-megapixel 5x periscope lens also gets a larger aperture, and the telephoto sensor shifts to 12 megapixels. Other than those tweaks, most of the setup remains similar to the previous two generations. In video, Samsung may add support for the ATV codec as an alternative to Apple's protests. It's a nice addition, but honestly, Samsung still needs to push harder if they want to keep up with brands like Vivo and Oppo, who are making impressive leaps in smartphone videography. Performance-wise, Samsung will likely continue using the latest Snapdragon chip for Galaxy, but there's a twist. The company is also testing the Exynos 2600 for the Ultra. Based on leaked Geekbench screenshots, the Exynos chipset is surprisingly strong, even outperforming Snapdragon in single-core results in some early tests. We're still unsure if Samsung will split chipsets by region or keep Snapdragon only for the Ultra. RAM should be a standard 16 gigabytes across the entire lineup, with storage going up to 1 terabyte. Initially, Samsung planned to keep the same prices as last year, but with rising production costs affecting every manufacturer, nothing is guaranteed. Color options are still unknown, but personally, I'm hoping Samsung avoids repeating the orange variant. Now shifting to the base S26 model. From the outside, it carries many of the same design cues as the Ultra: the pill-style camera island, the newly rounded corners, and the SIM ejector placed near the mic. The phone itself is even slimmer at 6.9 millimeters, and the display is expected to be noticeably larger than previous base models. Compared to the upcoming iPhone 17 Pro Max, the S26 still isn't nearly as rounded, which I think is actually a good thing. And for those curious, these are the screen protectors designed for the full S26 lineup, though we don't have one for the Edge variant here. Speaking of connectivity, the entire S26 family will be the first in the world to feature Bluetooth 6.1. every other flagship right now is still stuck at 6.0. Bluetooth 6.1 offers two key improvements: better privacy and improved power efficiency for connected devices, especially earbuds and smartwatches. Samsung will also be launching the Galaxy Buds 4 Pro alongside the S26 series, and if those buds support Bluetooth 6.1 as expected, the combination should deliver noticeably better battery management and smoother connectivity. It's a subtle but meaningful upgrade. About the Exynos 2600, Samsung basically confirmed that the S26 lineup will use their in-house chip during their latest earnings call. Whether the Ultra will exclusively use Snapdragon or mix both chipsets is still unknown. And don't fall for the fake Geekbench scores online showing unreal numbers like 4,000 single-core and 13,500 multi-core. The most believable leak so far shows around 3,500 single-core and 11,600 multi-core at 3.8 GHz. Meanwhile, Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 runs at 4.76 GHz, yet Exynos is still keeping up. That's actually impressive, and we might see even better numbers once Samsung pushes the clocks to their final targets. But performance isn't just about CPU scores. We'll still need to see how the chip handles AI workloads, thermals, and efficiency over long usage. If Samsung gets all of that right this time, the S26 lineup could be their strongest in years. And that wraps up everything we know so far about the Galaxy S26 Ultra and the entire S26 family. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Tech Torch for more updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.